Commander Malik Torres gripped the armrest of his command chair as the proximity alarms screamed through the bridge of the GSV Horizon's edge. The massive Terran dreadnought had just dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, its dark hull bristling with quantum torpedo arrays and plasma cannons that could reduce a moon to cosmic dust. Distance to target? Torres barked, his eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching vessel. 18 million kilometers and closing, sir, reported Lieutenant Commander Yuki Nakamura from the tactical station. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. It's the TFS Retribution. Torres felt his blood run cold. The Retribution was Admiral Harrison Blake's flagship, a kilometer-long instrument of destruction that had led the brutal siege of the Martian colonies 3 years ago. If Blake was here, it meant the fragile peace treaty between the Terran Federation and the Galactic Alliance was about to shatter. Sir, incoming transmission, announced Communications Officer Elena Vasquez. It's Admiral Blake himself. The main screen flickered to life, revealing Blake's weathered face and steely gray eyes. A jagged scar ran from his left temple to his jawline, a souvenir from the Battle of Europa Station. Commander Torres. Blake's voice carried the weight of authority and barely contained aggression. By order of the Terran High Command, you will stand down and prepare for inspection. We have credible intelligence that your vessel is harboring war criminals. Torres stood slowly, his mind racing through tactical possibilities. The Horizon's Edge was a science vessel, equipped with defensive shields and a handful of pulse cannons, hardly a match for Blake's warship. But hidden in the cargo bay were 50 refugees from the destroyed colony of New Geneva, survivors who had witnessed Terran forces using illegal bioweapons against civilian populations. Admiral Blake, Torres replied, keeping his voice steady. This is a sovereign alliance vessel on a humanitarian mission. You have no jurisdiction here. Blake's laugh was devoid of humor. Jurisdiction? Commander, when the Terran Federation speaks, the galaxy listens. You have 30 minutes to comply, or I'll be forced to interpret your defiance as an act of war. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Torres turned to his crew, men and women from a dozen different worlds who had sworn an oath to protect the innocent, not bow to tyranny. Options? He asked quietly. We could make a run for the Vortex Nebula, suggested Navigator Dmitry Volkov. The electromagnetic interference would mask our quantum signature. The Retribution would intercept us before we reached the nebula's edge, Nakamura countered. Their engines have been upgraded with the new dark matter injectors. Torres walked to the forward viewport, staring at the distant glimmer that was Blake's approaching dreadnought. Behind him, he could hear the subtle hum of the ship's systems and the quiet breathing of his crew. In the cargo bay below, 50 souls depended on his next decision. Sir, whispered Dr. Amira Hassan, the ship's chief medical officer. Those people down there, they've already lost everything. Their families, their homes, their entire world. We can't let Blake silence them. Torres nodded slowly. He thought of his daughter back on Alliance Prime, probably sitting in her xenobiology class, learning about the diverse species that made up their peaceful coalition. What kind of galaxy would she inherit if people like Blake were allowed to terrorize the innocent? Helm, set course for the Vortex Nebula. Maximum velocity, Torres commanded. Tactical, charge all defensive systems and prepare countermeasures. Communications, send a priority message to Alliance Command. Tell them the Terrans have violated the neutral zone. Sir, that's a direct violation of Blake's ultimatum, Nakamura warned. Torres turned back to face his crew, seeing determination reflected in their eyes. Sometimes, Lieutenant Commander, standing up for what's right means accepting the consequences. All hands, prepare for evasive maneuvers. As the Horizon's Edge banked hard to starboard and engaged its quantum drives, space around them erupted in brilliant flashes of weapons fire. The chase had begun, and with it, perhaps the opening shots of a new galactic war. But in the cargo bay, 50 survivors clutched their children closer, knowing that somewhere in the darkness, there were still those willing to fight for justice among the stars.